It's so beautiful out here today. Whew. Hi guys, I'm coming to you from beautiful Barcelona on one of my last days here. And this morning, I have just felt really compelled to talk to you guys about the battle between your ego mind and your heart. And due to some lovely, beautiful, amazing people that I have spent the weekend with, so a shout out to my Soul Navigation astrology group. What a beautiful weekend. I really appreciate the beautiful time and conversations that we've had together. And the inspiration that I've received from each of you individually. And blessings to you all. And thank you for the beautiful comments and beautiful words and the beautiful inspiration that you've given me and that you've said I've given to you as well. I think that's such a lovely give and take. But anyway, moving on. The battle between the ego and the heart. Okay, let's talk about this because I feel like a lot of people are struggling with this right now, especially people who are dear to me. So, there's a thing we do in spiritual work called ego death, right? And this is so important because basically what this means is cutting off that drive that really comes from the mind, right? A lot of us are driven from our thoughts, repetitive, obsessive thoughts sometimes, and driven by the impressions that we've received from society, right? A lot of the ego, most of the ego, comes from just our life experiences, what we've dealt with in life, how we've reflected on them, and just the people that are important to us in life in general that have sort of shaped our viewpoint, right? And I feel like in order to make some decisions, we do need our heart and our mind, right? In order to make business decisions, in order to make plans for important things, events, that sort of thing. Yeah, you might need your ego and your heart both. But there are a lot of things in life that we really need to have that ego death. We really need to shut off that thinking mind and really just listen to our heart and come from our heart and figure out what our heart is trying to tell us. Because your ego will deceive you. Your heart will never. Understand that. You will never have an intuitive feeling about something that is incorrect. So I'm going to repeat that and give you a moment to reflect on that. Your heart will never lie to you. If you're intuitively having this feeling, not thought, but feeling, it's honest. It's coming from your soul, your spirit, the universe, your guardian angels. It's coming from higher powers, whereas your ego is coming from what you've been molded to from society, your parents, life experiences, right? So when it comes to matters of the heart, when it comes to love, dating, really making decisions about what you really might want deep inside, not just what you think is good for you, you need to make that decision from the heart, okay? So with ego death, there's a couple ways of going about that. So, of course, you can hire me for my services, and I will dive deep into that for you. But on just a general, like a GP, meditate for a minute. Sit in silence, try to shut off all of your thoughts. And, as a Buddhist, we'll tell you when you're meditating, you can't stop your thoughts, right? So what you have to do is observe them and sit with them for a minute, the same way you do with grief and stress as well. Process it, be human with it, but then let it go because you need to really move on from that. And then after you process that thought, then you can get into seeing what you really feel in your heart, right? Sometimes you don't need to listen to other people around you. You don't need to listen to people's advice, because a lot of advice can become overwhelming, overstimulating. And what we really need to do is go within. So to shut off that outside world and just really go within yourself. Okay. And that's really what that ego death is about. It's about feeling what you feel in your heart, because a lot of times what we'll do is we'll feel something and we'll know it's true in our soul. But then the mind gets to thinking, and then you're like coming up with all of these excuses and all of this negativity and all of the cons, instead of really focusing on the pros of the situation or what your intuition is really trying to tell you. So what I'm saying is, in those moments, shut off that ego mind and really just feel what your soul and your heart are really trying to scream out to you. Because a lot of times your soul is screaming something to you, but your mind is like, I'm going to do this anyway, right? Your heart and your spirit is saying, go for it. Give it your all. Dive in. Be the fool in this moment and just take hold of what the universe is giving you. But then your mind's like, well, there's this and there's this and there's this and there's this, and I might not be ready and I need time to process, and I don't really know, I'm not really sure, and what if this happens, and what if this happens, and what if this happens? And all of that clutter is really just bogging down your heart, okay? So shut that out. Shut that out. Go for a walk. Be with animals, right? Can you see that little guy? Okay. He came to say hello to me this morning, so I figured I'd give a shout out to him. But be with animals, be in nature, do whatever you need to do in that moment so that you can say, okay, I'm in a place where I can listen to my heart now. Okay. I'm going to block out all of that chatter and just listen to my heart and see what I'm feeling. And you will be amazed at how impactful that is and how much clarity that you get from your heart. How much clarity your soul will give you when you stop thinking. Okay? So if there's a situation where you're like, should I, shouldn't I? Yeah, you can make your pros and cons list. That's fine. Sometimes our ego needs that, right? Sometimes it's like, okay, I need to make this pros and cons list, but I really feel like I know deep inside me what I'm going to do. And that's fine. Make your list. Be practical about it, and then separate yourself from that and go within your heart. And your heart will give you your final answer. And I just wanted to say, man, I can't get this out of my system enough to just explain to you guys how shaped we are from society and from our friends and from our family and from television and social media and all of this crap that really doesn't matter to the spirit. Okay? It really doesn't matter. And we've got to stop allowing that to make our choices for us. Because that's when we get ourselves in situations where it's like, okay, I'm doing this, and maybe it's beneficial in some way. Maybe it is. Maybe it's helping you with a lesson that you need to learn, or helping you go through something that you need to get through. But ultimately, it's not going to lead you where you really desire to go. And what'll happen is, if you make an ego-based decision, is you'll get there, right? And like I said, you may learn a lesson. It might be good for the moment, or it might be what you need in that moment. But then as you go back and you reflect on that, you're going to say, wow, I really should have listened to my intuition. I really should have listened to my heart. And I know, even if you're not an extremely spiritual person, you've heard things like, always go with your first mind. And what that's telling you is when you feel something, don't let your thoughts trump the feeling. Okay, I'm going to say that again. When you feel something, don't let your thoughts, your mind, your ego trump that feeling that you get in your heart and your soul, because that's your higher self trying to tell you that this is what's best for you, even though we have free will. So it's your decision to decide if you're going to go with what's in your heart or what's in your mind. Okay. So, a beautiful soul, one of our leaders, said to me over the weekend that both paths will lead us to the same place, because ultimately it's our destiny, right? Both paths will lead us to the same place, but we can choose. Do you want to take the path of your ego mind, which is going to definitely be a more treacherous path, okay? And a lot more obstacles that you are going to have to endure and jump over? Or do you take the path of your heart, which is never going to let you down? Yeah, there's still going to be difficulties. Of course, I'm not trying to tell you, oh, your heart's going to be beautiful and easy. Never would I say that. But your heart is going to lead you quicker with less resistance to that end destination. Okay? So following your heart may still be difficult, challenging, hurtful, but it's going to get you to that destination in a more open, beautiful, less restrictive way, if that makes sense. So I guess if there's one thing that I can really wrap this up with, it's your mind can stop you from getting your greatest gift in a quicker, easier, more beautiful way. Your mind can make it very treacherous for you to get there. If you want the simplest, happiest, less stressful way to get to your greatest gift, follow your heart. And you know what's in your heart. We always know what's in our heart. We just cover it up, bury it, deny it, let the fog roll in past it. Clear all of that. Feel what's in here. Follow your intuition, follow your heart, and I promise you, you will always get your heart's desire. I love you guys. I hope this really touched you in a special way and is going to help you make some decisions today that are really going to benefit you in a very healthy, happy way, because ultimately all I want is for love and light for everyone. And I just really felt compelled to share that with you this morning, because that's something that I can feel a lot of you all are battling with, and a lot of people who are dear to me are battling with. So take that as it resonates. Please just make your decisions from your heart. Don't let your ego drive you. Don't let your ego lead you in circles, the back, the forth, the up, the down. Let your heart take you directly where you really desire to go and where your true happiness is. Okay? Blessings to everyone. Namo Himalaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namaste. Mwah.